Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia. In today's video I'm going to be making a super cute summer wreath using this flip-flop sign. You are the flip to my flop. How adorable is that? And some 21-inch Deco Mesh as my base, and we are going to make an adorable wreath. If you're new to this channel, my name is Nadia and I love making wreaths and giving you some wreath tutorials on how to make them. With that being said, let's get started. Here are the supplies for the folded ruffle wreath. I'm going to be using a 21-inch Deco Mesh. Make sure your roll is 10 yards. We're going to need the whole thing. Next, you're going to need 18 pipe cleaners, but we're not going to attach them like we usually do for a poof wreath. We're going to attach them a little differently. For the ribbon, I'm going to be using this 2.5-inch wired edge ribbon that I got at Craft Outlet, and I thought it matched the flip-flops perfectly. I'm also going to use this 1.5-inch wired pink one, and then also this white 1.5-inch wired ribbon that I get at Costco. This flip-flop sign that I'm going to use, I got at Craft Outlet, and the wreath form I'm going to use is a 14-inch metal wreath form from the Dollar Tree. There are 3 ways to attach your pipe cleaners for this type of wreath. The first method, you would attach your pipe cleaners on row 1 and 2, the second one on row 2 and 3, and the third one on a row 3 and 4 on this cross section. And then again, it would be 1, 2, 2, 3, and then 3, 4. The second method is good if you are using a small centerpiece, so you want to bring in the Deco Mesh a little closer to the center. So you would attach your first pipe cleaner on row 1 and 2, then 2 and 3, and then 1 and 2 on the bar, and then same thing, 2, 3, 1, 2, 2, 3. In our case, our centerpiece is quite large, so we need to extend the Deco Mesh a little further. For our method, I'm going to start on rows 2 and 3, and I'm going to face the pipe cleaners out. All of them are going to be faced out. And then 3, 4 for my second one. I'm going to keep them about 2 to 3 inches apart, and then again row 2 and 3, and I'm going to go on the crossbar, then row 3 and 4, and then 2 and 3. You're getting the picture here, I'm sure. I'm basically just zigzagging them. Here's my second one in this section, and the third one. So you're basically going to have 2 in each section and 1 on the crossbar. Here's how my wreath form looks with all the pipe cleaners on. As you can see, I put my cutting mat vertically instead of horizontally like I always do, and that's because we need to cut strips of this 21-inch Deco Mesh. I'm going to be cutting 20-inch strips, and we're going to need 18 of these. Grabbing my ruler, I'm going to go to 1.5 inch and just put it underneath my cutting mat, because here we have 18 and a half with this side, so that's 19 and 20. That 1.5 inch is not that much, so you can definitely eye it, but do make sure you have enough to have 18 strips at the end of the day. After I cut my Deco Mesh, I'm just going to curl it, and I'm going to put it in a laundry basket I have by my table. That way it's nice and secure. Our Deco Mesh is all cut up. Now we're ready to make our folded ruffles and attach them to our wreath. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my mesh right in the center, kind of wiggle it out, and then I'm going to bring factory edge to factory edge. I brought both of my factory edges together, and that's the thick edge, that's the side of your Deco Mesh. And here I have the part that I cut. I'm going to put it going top to bottom just like that, and we have a big piece that's doubled on the edges because we cut it there. I'm going to fold, and you're not going to have a hard time folding the edge about 1 inch because that's how naturally it was curled on our actual Deco Mesh roll. So after I do that, I'm going to kind of keep it flat Let's do this side too. Then I'm going to find my center, and I like doing this on my cutting mat because we can see where our center is even though we don't have any lines. And we're going to bring it together like a ruffle. That's why it's called a folded ruffle. Keep on bringing it together. When you get to the other side, same thing. We're just going to curl it in about an inch, basically just to take care of those ruffled edges, the cut edges, so we have less fraying. Bring it together, and we have our first ruffle. How pretty is this? Going to attach it to the wreath and give it 2 twists. Let's make another one. I'm just going to open it up and start at going factory edge to factory edge. After I brought my factory edges together, I'm going to lay it down from top to bottom. Look at this, it's curling by itself because it's just natural for it to curl like that. I'm going to just curl that little inch. To make it easier, you could put something to weigh down your Deco Mesh. Find your center and just start bringing it together. A big old ruffle that's full because we have all that beautiful Deco Mesh. And then once again, when we get to the edge, we're just going to curl that in to prevent the fraying and bring it together. If you feel like something's uneven, like I feel this part right here is a little bit too much on the side, just pull it back, even things out if you have to, but you don't really have to focus on that too much. This is a ruffle wreath, and we're just trying to get beautiful ruffles and attach them to our wreath. A few twists and moving on. Let's do one more together, folding our factory edges, making sure they're even from one side to the other, overlapping, putting something heavy, and then just getting those sides, a little bit of a fold, evening our edges, and off we go. This is super quick, super easy. It's fun. I know that if this is going to be your first one, that's okay. It's just going to be a little, you know, maybe different, but at the end of the day, you're going to love how full this wreath is going to come out, how beautiful, and you just made something different. You just made something fun and definitely full. Look at this. We're a few ruffles in, and it's big, it's beautiful. And now I'm just going to continue doing the same thing and filling in the rest of the pipe cleaners with my beautiful folded ruffles. Before I put on my last ruffle, I wanted to mention something because one side is our factory edge and the other side is the smooth side. Every time I put on a ruffle, I just changed the way I put it on. The next thing I'm going to do is get rid of the pipe cleaners that are on row 2 and 3, the ones that are closest to the center of the wreath, because I'm going to actually put our ribbon bundles only on the outside row. Twist up about an inch, cut off the excess, fold it in half, and fold it down. Then I'm going to skip the one that's on the outside row and go towards the next one on the inside row. The extra pipe cleaners are taken care of. Now we're going to work on our ribbon bundles to put on the outside row. For a ribbon bundle, I'm going to start with this beautiful blue ribbon with a black and white polka dot, and I'm going to be making 12-inch strips. And of course, I'm going to only need 9 of these. And because we're only going to have 9 ribbon bundles, that is why I'm doing the full 12-inch length. As always, I'm going to zigzag because I do want to make little dovetails for my ribbon. Now I'm just going to go on both sides of my ribbon, fold the edges in half, and cut a little corner or a little triangle, making sure I cut the edges so we separate our ribbon. Now the gorgeous pink 1.5-inch wired ribbon, I'm going to do the same thing, 12-inch strips, and I'm going to need 9 of these. Now the dovetails. And the same thing with our white ribbon that I buy at Costco. I love this 1.5-inch white ribbon. I buy a few spools during Christmas season. That is when you can find these. And they're 50 yards and they last me the whole year. But that of course depends on how many wreaths you make. And of course, we're going to make dovetails for this ribbon also. All my ribbon is cut up, 12 inches in length, 9 pieces each. I'm going to start with the blue, then come in with the pink, and then the white, because our pipe cleaners are white and they're not going to show when I attach. So when I layer them, I'm going to fold them in half, find that center, bring it all together, attach it, twisting the pipe cleaner until it's about an inch from the actual ribbon bundle. Cut off the excess, fold in half, and fold back just like what we did in the center one. And I'm going to go ahead and connect all the ribbon bundles to the remaining 8 pipe cleaners. I'm going to go ahead and finish attaching all my ribbon bundles to the remaining pipe cleaners on the outside row. If you find an area like this that's a little empty, no worries. We're just going to wiggle some Deco Mesh from one of the next ribbons. The reason you might have little empty areas here and there is because we attach the ruffles just like this. So you might need to just wiggle them back and forth to make sure all the areas are covered. Like for example here, I'm going to take the ending from the one on top, then the ending from the one at the bottom, and I'm just going to crisscross them just like that. There's plenty of room, they're long enough, and so I'm just going to continue doing this, going all the way around, attaching my ribbon and making sure that my ruffles are all nicely laid out. All my ribbon bundles are on, but I'm not going to open them until the end. The next thing I'm going to do is grab my sign and figure out how I'm going to attach it. I decided to use this area right here and put a wire through that. It's a white wire and it is hardly noticeable. In the back, I'm just going to give it a few twists. Then I'm going to take this metal hook that's up here and I'm going to make one wire going this way, one wire going that way. This way our wreath is going to be attached at 3 spots. So 1, 2, and then the third one. Folding all the wires in, I'm going to flip and start attaching. I'm starting with the wires on my hook, and one I'm going to put on one crossbar. As always, just one twist, the other one on the other crossbar. And then the one over there, I'm going to just attach one wire on this side. This one's basically just to balance things out. And this one on this side. Let me see what it looks like and how it's holding on before I continue. Now that I like where my sign is, I'm going to secure the wires in place. Now that our sign is in place, I'm going to hang this wreath with some jute cord. I'm going to be using rows 2 and 3. Make a few knots, cut off the excess. After you made your knot, go ahead and pull the loop from the front of the wreath because we are going to cover the back and the hook needs to be loose so that you can hang the wreath. To cover the back, I'm going to use one of my favorite techniques, and that's to use a placemat. This particular one I got at the Dollar Tree. What I like to do is to zip tie them in 3 places only. The reason I do that is in case something's wrong, in case you need to fix something. If you only have part of this covered, you can just lift and take care of what you need, but overall it's covered, it's taken care of. So just putting my little zip tie through, and of course the knob we're going to send to the back, cut off the tail, and then attach the next 2 zip ties. And I like to do an imaginary little triangle. There goes my next one. And that way everything is nicely spaced out and the back is covered nice and neat. Our sign is in and everything looks so super cute. And now it's time to do the best part, the most important part, and that's open up our ribbon bundles. And what I like to do is kind of make it look like a little flower, open it up and kind of curl it a little bit. Same thing on this side, and we're going to curl. And we're going to curl towards the center. That way we're going to cover that pipe cleaner. Going to go ahead, continue opening everything up and make this wreath even more beautiful with the ribbon bundles. I'm telling you, my friends, this really brings me joy to make something look so pretty and in this case adorable. I hope you love it too, or in case you're one of those people who just likes to watch a wreath being made, that's fine too. I hope that brings you joy because this absolutely is so much fun. Just look at all this gorgeousness. I am so in love with the way this wreath came out. It's so much fun. It's so bright, and I am getting just a little bit of a Mackenzie Childs vibe because of all the edging and the black and white, but I think it turned out absolutely adorable. It is a perfect summer wreath. All the supplies I used in this wreath, I'm going to put in the description box below, and I actually do this to all my wreaths, so definitely check the description box below if you want to know where I purchased something. What did you guys think of the wreath, and how did you think I did with combining the blue, the polka dots in there, and the pink? I think it worked together really well, and even though the ribbon had like black line through it and stuff, I just think it's so happy, it's so bright, it gives such a contrast. Oh, I love the way it turned out. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, or just say hi to me. I love chatting with you guys. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the little bell so you're notified every time a video comes out, and of course, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Well, Louie wanted to stop by and say bye to you guys, so thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, guys. Say bye. You're so sweet. Say mwah. Bye, guys.